Shalom and welcome. I'm going to be starting a series. I haven't figured out a formal title for it, but for now, let's call it a series on the Sephirot, the 10 Sephirot, from the Jewish Kabbalistic thought. And first, we're going to be starting with this one, pronounced Chochmah. Now, Chochmah means wisdom. And I find that this is extremely relevant to today's world, particularly the world that exists online in regards to the conversation around Palestine, Israel, and a lot of the spreading of misinformation, disinformation, etc. When it comes to the discussion around the current war in Gaza, I think one thing could not be clearer. And before I say what I'm about to, let me preface it by saying I do understand how I am coming across. I obviously present a certain way. I do have a bias. I would never deny my bias, and we'll get into that. But one thing is clear. When you look at comments such as those on Instagram or Facebook, YouTube, whatever, and you see those who are clearly coming from a pro-Israel perspective, the comments are generally offered from a perspective that shows that there was some thought, some research, some intelligence, shall we, behind it, usually pointing to a specific fact, an argument, something that is, shall we say, rational. Whereas on the other side of this whole debate, when you look at the quote-unquote pro-Palestine side, the comments, generally speaking, are usually very emotionally driven. Not to say the Israeli ones are not either. They are. They can be. But shall we say about 52%, and that's being kind, 52% of these comments contain not much more than the repeated scripts of Free Palestine and end the Israeli genocide or end Israeli apartheid and so on, without much else. And again, that's emotionally driven, not so different from a pro-Israel perspective. However, when it's only something so emotionally driven and lacking of fact, I think we have a problem. And to point back to wisdom, we are so desperately in need of this virtue. And so we will get much more in depth with this discussion as the days go by. And then we'll continue with Bina, which refers to intelligence. And you'll see that this is going to be a three-part series as far as these three are concerned. This middle one is Dat, and I'll explain what that means in an upcoming segment of the series. And please, I welcome any and all comments, and I hope that this is of some benefit to any of you. Thanks.